before I get started in this video, I just thought I'd yap a minute or so here. I've had this 59 Chevrolet here. I pulled all the covers off of it, but today is the 12th of March. I purchased it on the 12th of March in 1978 for $75 with 58,000 miles on it. It's in a lot of my past videos, so if you want to know about the car, just go check out my past videos. Anyway, let's see. Get on with it here. Tail lights and stuff. The cat eyes and the big fins. But anyway, Martin, he has the 59 Bel Air like this, other than it's gold and cream, or the roof is cream, the body's all gold. And he's from Windsor, Ontario, and he's been over here quite a number of times, and he came over yesterday because he's owned his 59 Bel Air for 10 years on the 10th of March. He said it's the longest he's ever owned a car. Typically he keeps them 5 years and then moves on to something else. So yeah, the 59 is something he really likes. So anyway, when he came over, he brought me a little something, and when I saw it, I told him, well, I'm not going to use it. It's right here on the wall. So I don't know if you can read if it is or not, but so I just showed you the tail light on this, right? And it does not have these in it. Those were put on the Impalas and the Nomads. That's what they are right there in the tail light. And Martin put them on his 59 Bel Air. He likes them, and they do look nice. You know, I can't argue with that. It makes a tail light a heck of a lot easier to clean. Cleaning in these grooves over here. There's little where those things go. This is just slightly below the lens level, this rib here, right here in the center, and then it's quite a ways down in there. I don't know if, anyway, maybe you can see it against the bumper there. So that gets dusty and dirty in there because I don't wash the car, you know, I don't drive it in the crummy weather. You got to take a microcloth and kind of work it in there and clean those out. That's a little difficult. Well, these would save that, right? But I don't know, this is a Bel Air and it's mostly stock, and that was an Impala Nomad option, or not option, it was standard on the Impala Nomad. But I see a lot of people use those on the Bel Airs and Biscaynes, and especially if it, you know, if this was a custom like Dave's 59 is that blue and white one that's in my past videos. Yeah, definitely have those. I love his car the way he customized it. He put the Olds, had that big stainless steel trim here. I think it was the Oldsmobile. He put that on his, and it looks amazing. I love it. But you know, I mean, if I did, I just like his whole car, everything about his interior, everything. But anyway, yeah, so Martin, I'm not putting those on the car as I told you, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to hang them on the wall right below this because I think that's fitting. So thank you for some more wall art for my garage. I appreciate it. Kind of neat. And if I ever get a Nomad or an Impala, maybe I'll need them. Anyway, I'm going to get back on the bike now. And now that I've been done yapping here for who knows how long, about 5 minutes or so. Anyway, I want to start putting some of this stuff together on the frame. I want to put the steering knuckle back on and put this back on. Just kind of, you know, stuff's everywhere around here. And I was going to buff or take my little Dremel brass wire wheel and clean up all the cooling fins. But I'm out of them, so I had to order them, and they won't be here for a couple more days. So this is just going to sit here, and I might take this to the paint store tomorrow and get the paint mixed. And I need to get a flex agent. These are plastic, and if you don't use a flex agent, the paint will peel off. So I got to get a flex agent for the paint so I can get those sanded out and painted. We'll get the engine painted up. It's moving along pretty good though, but I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to start buffing all these fasteners that I got here. Most of the stuff I can reassemble onto the frame before the engine goes in or the wheels go in. So I'm going to start buffing so I can get the steering head back on and all just put the bolts in their places and stuff so they don't get misplaced, and clean the rubber grommets up, put them back on there for the turn signals. There's 2 sets of shock holes, and the unused ones, so you can put the shock, probably depending on the way you want to ride the bike, you can put the shock here or here. You know, that's going to lower it down, probably make it a little cushier, who knows, and that's going to raise it up. So the plug goes in the hole that you don't use. So, you know, I can start getting that stuff together. This stuff's all plenty dry to the touch. It's been drying for a few days, and the weather's been nice. I've had the garage opened up and stuff out in the sun. But anyway, let me get to working on stuff here. Quit my yapping. Oh, I had to pick up some more memory cards. I had all these memory cards with 30 minutes, 15 minutes, you know, like that left on them, and I thought, well, I'll fill them up. So, but I kept running into filling up memory cards while I was making video for you guys, so I thought I'll just get another memory card that I can use when I'm gonna be doing a lot of recording. Now, this video card I'm using now shows it has 27 minutes left on it, so I'm gonna try and run it out before I put that one in. I don't waste my time. It's a lot of work putting video files to CDs or hard drives, or, you know, and the iCloud is just, I don't know, I don't want them on the cloud or anything. Just soon have them on like I save all my videos unedited. I don't save the edited ones, just the unedited footage. But I found it's just easier, easier and cheaper just to leave the memory, don't erase the memory cards. I got cases that holds them. I can date the cases. I think each case holds 16 memory cards, so that's a lot of video, and I use 128 memory cards. So yeah, that's a ton of video, but that's cheaper than buying hard drives, and then the hard drive fails. I've had that happen, and CD discs are kind of thing of the past, so that's why I just leave my memory cards. Like I said, it's just, so anyway, I bought 10 of them, a pack of 10 of these, so I got hopefully a couple year anyway, probably a couple years supply of them. I think the last time I bought 10, they've lasted me a couple years. All right, let me get back on the bike here. I'm just yapping away here. One more thing too, I did insure this, and I sent in for the authentic registration, so that should be back in, I don't know, it takes about a month, and I sent it in about a week ago, or 2 weeks ago maybe. So in the next 2-3 weeks, I should be getting the registration, and the weather's starting to get nicer. So if I get the registration back and we get a nice day, I'm taking this thing out for a ride. No ands, its, or buts about it. Yeah, I know I've shown this in the past, but this is for new viewers. So course wheel, fine wheel. This is the compound I'm using on the course wheel. This is the compound I'm using on the fine wheel, and then you just kind of every few bolts or so, or every couple bolts, just put a little on the wheel. And you see it doesn't take much to polish them up. Getting down in there right up against that flat spot's a little bit of a chore, but you just kind of, you don't need to put a lot of pressure on them. Just kind of work them on there and rotate them. This will make all the difference in the world in the appearance of the bike with all the bolts cleaned up. These were originally chromed, so I'm just polishing them up back to the way they were originally. And then once you get it all done on that, just come over to this wheel. And I didn't need to put more on, but I just did it so you can see what I do. You can see how that brings the shine up. So I'm just going to sit out here for a couple hours today and polish as many fasteners as I can, because once the weather turns foul I can start assembling stuff. In the meantime, while I can work outdoors, save the mess in the garage, I'm going to. This gets dust all over. I gotta open the garage up and take the blower and blow it, or the air hose, either one, and completely blow out the whole garage if I do these in there. It just coats everything with dust. That's why I had the 59 Chevy all covered up with plastic over the car cover. I didn't even want to get the car cover dirty, but anyway, you get the picture. And then when I'm all done, I wipe it off with a microfiber towel and put it in the hole that it originally went into. I put a couple drops of oil on the threads so that the aluminum threads, because they're completely lack any lubrication because of cleaning them to paint them. And the same with these, don't have any lubrication. Just so save galling up the aluminum threads, I'll put a drop of oil on the threads of everything as I'm putting it together. So I just thought I'd show you a little bit of what I'm doing here to polish stuff up. Spent half the day, 5 hours, buffing bolts, so you can see some of the things I buffed here. Tomorrow I'll continue on. I want to get all the fasteners polished. You can kind of see, just kind of putting some of the bolts where they belong. Just getting things ready to start assembling. And I even buffed some of them are even piled over here, the ones for the battery box. Buff them up. These ones here, I'll probably work on these tomorrow, those bolts. And then I got axles. Still got a lot of stuff to buff, probably another full day, a couple bolts in that. I'll have all the screws when I pull the covers off to buff. Got more bolts, more fasteners, more fasteners, more fasteners. So yeah, I got more fasteners, and I'm sure there's more things laying down in there. So I got another 5 hours at least of buffing to do tomorrow. But while the weather's nice and I can set my buffer out on the patio there like I showed, it just makes life a lot easier not having a huge mess in the garage. When I do it over there, that mess, it just makes a disaster. I have to open up the garage and blow it all out with the air hose or the blower. But yeah, just when it's outside instead of right there, you know, you can just clean up as a leaf blower in 5 minutes. Anyway, tomorrow we'll get some more bolts buffed. I'm going to get back to buffing some more bolts today. It's supposed to get up to 70, so it'll be a nice day to work outside. And 805 Road King made a suggestion on that paver. It never even occurred to me. And I'm going to do it right now. And that was sandblast the brick. So I pulled it out. We're going to throw it in the bead blast cabinet and blast it. And go check out his channel. He's got a lot of neat videos. He did restore a truck, but a lot of small engine stuff, really neat stuff, multi-cylinder Briggs and Strattons that he built, and just glass head Briggs. Go check his channel out, it's pretty neat. We're going to use glass beads, but it should do the same thing in cleaning the paint off the paver. Oh my God, yes, look at that. Cleans it off like brand new. Wow. I have a little spot one up north. I'll have to bring it back, and then there's a few bricks with just a drop of paint on them. I'm definitely gonna... Wow. That looks like it's done already. Yeah, that came out good. I'll show you once it's back out on the patio. That looks really good. Really happy with that. A little bit of weather on that, and it'll look as good as the rest of them. It just the glass beads are still on it, so probably just rinse it off the water. But there's dirt on here too. But there are a few other little spots, and like I say, I have a little spot one. Little handheld thing that has a bag that you just put some media in, and I think I can get the rest of those with that. But that'll be fine once that gets dirty from the weather, or I pressure wash the rest of the thing. That'll be fine. Kind of before. These are engine mounting bolts, so a little bit of the thing in here shows. That's why if you look at and see, I've buffed all out of the bolts a full length. So if a little bit shows, like you can see where the bolt was and where it was open, where you could see it. I don't want to see that. I want to see polished bolt. So that's why I polished the whole thing. So that's a little bit of before. And that is after. So it, makes them look like brand new. Make the bike look good with all this jewelry. Anyway, yeah, I put new wheels on the buffer too. They're kind of getting worn out, so put some brand new ones on it. All right, let me continue on with my buffing. Another day, another several hours of buffing parts. Yeah, it's just been nuts. But we're getting things cleaned up. This is the rear axle, and as you remember, if you look back in the photos, that stuff was absolutely white with corrosion. This is cast iron, this piece here. And it was painted silver originally. So I sandblasted it or glass speed blasted it and painted it silver, but you can see it's all looking pretty darn good. And even cleaned up the sprocket. It's a 15 tooth, as you can see. The spring for the rear brake, that was a chore to buff. Not getting caught in the wheels and flung, which was a miracle. And the bolts to the coil even I polished. I'll clean the coil up before I put it on. But basically, I still got a ton of fasteners. I've got about 15 hours into buffing right now. I had 5 a few days ago. I had another 4, and today I've been about 3. But yeah, these need to be buffed. There's, like the horn, things like that. Bolts for the signals and the signal bases and engine screws. I'm going to start working on the engine today, and I still got these to buff. So I still got a lot of buffing to do, but I'm going to take a break from it and maybe work on the engine a little bit. Did I show this stuff? I think I did. Yeah, that was a nightmare to buff too. But yeah, it's and then again, I don't know if I showed some of these, but the little doodads that hold the signals on and the ground wires. So those chrome bolts will be very visible because they go right there. So you'll totally see them. And the little screws that hold the harness on there. Yeah, trying to hold those little itty bitty things from going flying while I'm buffing them. They're in there, so I'll just leave them in there. But yeah, that was a chore. All right, I did get more these brass wheels for my Dremel. So after lunch, I'm going to start cleaning cooling fins, and then Monday I'm going to get the paint mix so I can start cleaning up and painting up the engine, so I can start putting some things together to clear up my mess around. I clean the cooling fins up a little bit, and I'm using this little brass wheel, and that way you can get right down in here. Just don't need a lot of speed on the Dremel. That cleans the stuff right out of there and looks nice. It'll take a while. I might tip the engine over on its side. It has no oil in it, so I can move it around. But anyway, I'm going to just go to town here. I'll show you when I'm done. This is kind of, there you can see where I did and where I didn't do already. We'll get that all cleaned up, and then I can, tomorrow I can get these off, and I'll get the paint mixed, and hopefully get this engine done. We can put the bike together. Just so you can kind of see. Then I got long, thin ones that work good for getting right into the bottom of the cooling jacket. Not even pointing the camera what I'm doing. Sorry about that. I just was kind of working away here looking at what I'm doing and not what I'm videoing. But anyway, you get the picture of what I'm doing. That motor is going to clean up nice. Alright, let me go to town here and get it all cleaned up. I just finished cleaning up the whole engine. Cleaned all the cooling fins. Cleaned all that stuff up. You can see the side cover, obviously. I'm going to be pulling those off tomorrow. I'm going to go get the paint mix tomorrow for these. These are a different shade than this. And so I'll pull these off and might paint this. If the weather cooperates tomorrow, maybe paint that silver tomorrow on the engine. But the underside, you can see how it's silver here too. Gray silver. This silver is like that silver. So, and then this is unpainted down here, and you can see how I cleaned that up too. But you can see the cylinder looks nice, and I cleaned up kind of in where the looks like I got a little bit of stuff still leaking out where the neutral safety switch goes on, but that was super caked with crud. And this thing for the chain I took off, this goes in there, so I could clean in behind it and clean all this. But you can see the underside of the engine looks nice now. That's the oil drain plug. Yeah, so it's pretty much all ready for paint. I got pretty much all the engine, so I'll pull these covers off to paint, and I got to replace some seals and replace this seal. I'll look at this, see if there's an O-ring or a seal or something, but I think that's just from cleaning at that stuff there, because that really doesn't have oil in it, that part of the, that's where all the mechanism is for the clutch and stuff. We'll look at it. If it has oil in there, we'll clean it out, put a new seal in it. But I got a seal and a gasket set for the whole engine. And but anyway, there you go. So you can kind of see what I've been doing on the XL250 here, getting it ready to paint up. That's where the oil pickup screen is. So you take this out, then there's a spring and a screen that goes in there, and that screen is the pickup for the oil pump. You got to make sure you put that in first the correct way, otherwise you won't have a screen on your oil pump. Alright, that is ready to, I'm going to give this silver a quick sand tomorrow before I spray it. If I spray it tomorrow, if the weather permits. I took the spring off this hose too, and it was originally black, So I painted it. I just kind of wanted to show what I'm doing here, you know, give you an idea. I thought I'd put this video up today. You can see, I mean, look at this. I should have videoed this before. These were white with corrosion from a cat peeing on it. This goes in the hub. That's the way this will go on the bike. Those are points to the little things on the frame where the chain adjusts. But this is an engine mount. Or no, this is the control swing arm bolts. The engine mount bolts are over there. All the brackets for the engine. It'll be nice to start putting this bike together. So tomorrow I'm going to get the paint for the engine and a flex agent for the fenders. And I'm going to start painting the engine up. And once that I got some paint on that, I can start putting the steering stuff on, putting the engine wiring, start putting the bike together. We've had some beautiful weather to where I could have ridden it, and I haven't got the registration for this one yet, so I've been aching to take it out. We've had numerous 70 degree or upper 60 degree days in March. It's been a really nice warm March. And I've seen a lot of motorcycles out, but I'm not going to take a chance and get a ticket just because I don't wait. You know, it's just not worth it. Just totally not worth it. So I'll wait until I got the registration, and then we'll take it out. But let me finish up the video here on this episode on the XL250. That way you can kind of see what's going on with the bike. And I haven't put up a video in a while on it, so we'll put a video up on it. How's that sound? You can see what all I've been doing. I'm still far from done buffing, but we had some rainy, crummy weather. These need to be buffed. And those bolts, obviously. And I'm sure there's a few odds and ends pieces in here. The ignition switch. I got to clean all that wiring up. Got a lot of work to do yet, but a majority of the work is getting done to where I can just start assembling. Well, that's enough yapping. I'm done flapping my jaw here. So if you like the video, definitely hit that thumbs up icon. It helps. And also, if you play the video all the way through, even if you don't watch it, it helps too. It puts it in the algorithm to get more views. And if you like my channel, that 348 engine icon that pops up will help you subscribe. And thank you for taking the time to watch my video.